All right, today we're talking about the controversy that's been all over the place surrounding television personality KP Bala. It's a really fascinating story about public charity and the intense scrutiny that can come with it.
So let's just get right to the heart of it, with the very questions that kind of blew this whole thing up. People started throwing around some serious accusations, calling him a scam artist, and even an international stooge. I mean, wow. So what is the real story here? But before we dive into all the accusations, we gotta understand who we're talking about, right? Who is KPY Bala, and how did he get to this point?
So, for a lot of people, KPY Bala first popped up on their screens as a comedian on the popular show Kalakapavoti Yaru. He was funny, people liked him, but pretty soon he became known for something else entirely. He started doing all this charity work, giving away money, vehicles, you name it, and he posted it all on his Instagram. And his following just exploded. Then he lands a lead role in a movie. I mean, his star was absolutely on the rise.
And then, just like that, everything changed. This image he'd built of a big-hearted philanthropist, it started to crumble. The word scam started getting thrown around online, and suddenly, everyone was questioning his every move. Okay, so where did all this come from? It wasn't just random noise, you know? There were some very specific accusations being made. Let's break them down.
The whole thing really caught fire after a journalist, Umapathy, started asking some pretty pointed questions. He was basically like, hold on a second, where is all this money coming from? How can a TV guy afford to give away so much? And those questions led to three main points of attack. First, there was this whole thing with an ambulance he donated. Second, the big one, the source of all that cash. And third, this pretty huge plan he had to build a free hospital. Now, that first one about the ambulance, that's the one that really went viral, probably because it was so specific. People were claiming the number plate on the ambulance was totally fake, that it was actually registered to a luxury car. And on top of that, they said it didn't even have insurance? You see, that ambulance story was like gasoline on a fire. It made people start looking at everything else and asking that same question over and over. How is he paying for all this? The cars, the donations, and this hospital he was talking about. It just didn't seem to add up for a guy with a performer's salary.
So with all this heat coming his way, Bala didn't just hide. Nope, he came out with a detailed video on his Instagram to face the music and tell his side of the story.
And he went right for the jugular. That whole international stooge accusation, his answer was so simple but so powerful. He just said, "Sir, I'm a daily wage worker."
Okay, so what about that ambulance number plate? Bala's explanation was, well, that it was a simple typo, a painting error. He said they accidentally painted an extra D on the plate. And the ambulance being off the road? He explained it was just in the garage for a routine fitness certificate renewal, and that they had a replacement ambulance out there doing the work in the meantime.
All right, so the million-dollar question, where's the money coming from? Bala laid it all out. He said it's from his own pocket, from his work, acting in films, hosting TV shows, doing live events, and international gigs. He made it super clear. There's no trust, no crowdfunding. He said he just works, quote, day and night to earn what he gives away.
And that massive hospital project everyone was talking about, according to him, it was never going to be some huge hospital. He said his plan was actually for a small clinic, and he was going to build it on the land he'd bought for his own house.
And this is where he really turned the tables. He basically said, look, if I had built an apartment building and bought a luxury car, no one would have had a problem. Think about that. He's saying the only reason he's getting all this flack is because he chose to help people instead of just helping himself.
But you know, his video wasn't just about defending himself with facts. He also talked about how all of this felt, and the bigger picture, the dangerous message he was worried this whole mess was sending out. A huge reason he made the video, he said, was because he was worried that other young people would see what happened to him and just not bother trying to do good deeds. He didn't want anyone to think that trying to help out is just going to land you in a world of trouble.
And he summed it up with this really powerful question. He said something like, there are problems, which is why we do good. Makes sense, right? But then he asked, is there a problem in the very act of doing good? Oof, that really makes you think.
He also pointed out something pretty ironic. He said that while all these people were making YouTube videos about him, criticizing him, and probably making money off the views, He's just posting on his Instagram account, which he says isn't even monetized.
So at the end of the day, this whole thing leaves us with a really tough question, doesn't it? In this social media age, how much do we question people who are trying to do good? Is it right to demand complete transparency? Or does grilling everyone who tries to help just scare other people away from helping at all? It's a huge debate about trust, about what we expect from people, and what the real price of doing good actually is.